Right, dear politicians, so far all the politicians are avoiding us like the plague because they know we're right. So go to it, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand you over to one of the organisers of this wonderful event, and she's going to bring on our next guest, Silky.
It's time when it comes.
Very good idea.
They're going to try and spoil this one, aren't they?
Alex, look. Oh, Alex is first.
My battery's going to run out. Damn.
And credit to you for coming out, taking the time out and making your voice heard. It means so much, and I'm glad it's been worthwhile. So I think we're going to give an enormous round of applause for Mr. David Icke.
And the people gathered to say, enough! You know, this is a historic weekend. This is an historic moment in the history of uncovering the evil and treachery and conspiracy that has directed and misdirected the lives of humanity for thousands of years. And there's a spirit looking down upon us at the moment, and he's got a big smiling face and he's got a big hat on. And until very recently, we used to know him as Jim Tucker. And Jim Tucker, decades ago, was on the case when no one had virtually heard of the Bilderberg group, let alone what it connects to. And I remember in 1995, long time ago now, that I went to my first Bilderberg location. It was in Switzerland, a place called Bergenstock. And Jim did a round-robin email to not too many people in those days saying the Bilderberg meeting this year is in Bergenstock, Switzerland. Story of my life since my head blew off in 1990. A few weeks earlier, I'd arranged to go and meet and stay with some friends in Switzerland, about 2 hours away. So I went down on the first day. It was a big hotel, the three of them, the Park, the Palace and the Grand. It's like something out of James Bond. And there were the guys with the name tags on and all that stuff, putting the fences up. There was virtually no one there. In terms of protest, no one. Jim must have been around somewhere, but I didn't see him. I then, during the actual event itself, when it started, went back. And this time you couldn't even get onto the mountain, never mind close to the hotels. Right in the far distance, you could not see where they were meeting. That's what happened in those days. Well, symbolism is very, very powerful because it visually gives you a fix on where we are. And Bilderberg and everything that it stands for is no longer at the top of the mountain where we cannot see it. We are in its freaking grounds. And it ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh my God, they've took his sand out. Bastard. Oh. What's it gone low?
I think the best thing that you can do to understand the world,
they're really listening, aren't they?
and to understand yourself, is to realize it ain't you that's mad, It's the world we live in, and it's the people who run it. That's when the penny drops. Because what we've got is a situation where insanity has become normal. And this is how it happens. You're born into a madhouse, but you're told it's sane. You grow up in a madhouse. There's nothing that you ever see that isn't in the madhouse. And so to you, madness is normal. And when someone comes along and says, this ain't normal, this is madness, they say, you're bloody mad. And you know, the mainstream media, you know, bless their cotton socks, are going to have to come to terms very soon with a simple fact. That the person they abused and ridiculed for nearly a quarter of a century was the one who was sane, and the world they believe in is what is insane. Once we realize that dynamic, the world starts to make sense. The world is upside down, and it's full of evil and slaughter and injustice for a simple reason. We, in our sleep up to this point, have allowed evil people to take control of our world. And it's stayed in control through secrecy and by keeping us in ignorance. But suddenly, the ignorance is dispersing. And what's left